Hey guys, it's Devil, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so one of the biggest updates for Arma 3 is the fact that almost all the buildings are enterable. I think I've only found one building that you can't enter, and that's the gas station, and I think maybe actually two, the radio tower, the big ass radio dome. You can't really enter those buildings, but 90% of the buildings are, and that's a big difference compared to Arma 2, where only like 10% of them were enterable. Just think about like Cherno and Electro. There's like maybe 5 or 6 different unique buildings that are enterable, and then the rest are just static buildings that are on the map. Now it's going to be a lot more urban. There's going to be a lot more urban combat because you can go house to house to house to house, and every single one is enterable, and that's great. And they all have dynamic rooms, different layouts, and stuff like that, so it's going to be really, really good. With this update, with this new game, there's a lot more demand for urban combat, so I'm going to teach you guys how to clear a building tactically and efficiently. During my training with the Marines, I was taught that entering a hostile building has a 90% chance of causing a casualty. To help reduce this threat, we received extensive training on how to deal with almost any situation that can be presented to us, and today I'm going to pass on some of that knowledge to you. Keep in mind, this knowledge is not set in stone. There are many other correct ways to do this. There's a lot of different tactics that you can put in place. This is just my experience on the subject and what I find works the best. When you're going to take a building by force, you need to determine a few key things before you move on to the objective. You are just as likely to get shot running up to the building as you are inside of it, so you need to know what you and everybody else in your team is doing before you put that plan into action. Most likely you will know the general layout of a structure's exterior just from recon or previous experience. Take this to your advantage and determine what point of the house you want to infiltrate from. If you can do something that the enemy won't expect, this is often your best route. For example, if there's scaffolding outside, you can use that to get into the second story, or maybe do a helo drop in from the roof, or just plain blow a hole in the wall. When you first approach the building, it's a good idea to set up 360-degree security, which can easily be done by posting 2 men at opposite corners of the building facing inboard. More may be needed depending on the building types and other variables. If you cannot afford to use the manpower in this manner, at least do a 360-degree sweep of the exterior and pie all windows and doors. To pie a window, you just need to imagine your field of view through the window as a piece of pie, constantly rotating as you move from one side of the window to the other. While you are doing this, you need to be scanning for enemies and other threats like booby traps. For this demonstration, I will cover the most basic of ways to enter a building, through a door. When you approach a door, it will be either closed or open, each having different tactics associated with it. If the door is open, you have 2 options. You can pie the door and reveal yourself to the enemy before entering, or enter in a much more aggressive manner using a stack. When the door is closed, you only have one option, and that's to use a stack. A stack is when a team of individuals literally stacks themselves outside the door and breaches together in a coordinated manner. One trick you can use is having a man on the opposite side of the door whose single job is to open the door. This is good for in-game and real life because in real life it keeps the first man's hands free to do whatever he wants with them, and in-game you don't have to worry about toggling through all the menus. When you are in a stack, there's a few key tactics that you should be using. It's on the first 2 men to determine which goes left and which goes right. This is referred to as a cross and a button hook. This way, you will not trip over each other or accidentally both breach the same direction. Also, you can prep rooms with grenades or to help kill or disorient enemies depending on your objective. You obviously don't want to use frag grenades if you're trying to rescue hostages. Now, when you're in the actual process of breaching, there's a few steps that you want to follow. Failure to complete any of these steps can result in a casualty. When you enter, you immediately want to check the fatal funnel, which is the area you can see if you were standing outside the door looking in. This is the position that smart enemies will set up a machine gun nests so that their rounds will exit through you into the allies behind you. Next, check your corner and then strafe into it. Once you are in that corner and your room is clear, you want to announce whatever side you're in is clear. For example, right side clear, left side clear. The key to a successful mount operation is communication and practice. You want to communicate everything to your team as fast as possible. Some key things that you want to relay are, and not limited to, overhead check, hallways, furniture, extra doors you haven't seen, dead space, stairs, civilians, or anything you find odd or out of place. This does not mean, hey man, I see some wires under the stairs over there. Remember, KISS, K-I-S-S, keep it simple stupid. It should sound like, danger, bomb under stairs. You want to keep yourself simple and direct. so you give your team the best amount of reaction time and the lowest amount of mental processing. Remember that every millisecond counts in a situation where everything is stacked against you. These are the basics for clearing a hostile building. Congratulations, you're now a high-speed motherfucker. If you guys like to see more, click the link in the description for the second part, which is a few more tricks and tips for clearing rooms, like staircases or how to run the rabbit. If you guys enjoy, please subscribe, like, and favorite. I really do appreciate it. See you next time.